Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating framework that tries to map out the layers of our existence, all the way from the entire cosmos down to our own consciousness. So the material we're looking at today really kicks off with this massive question, one that invites us to consider that reality might just have these deeper, unseen layers connecting everything. All right, let's jump right in with the first big idea, the cosmic blueprint. This is the absolute foundation for this entire model of the universe.
At the very heart of this framework is a concept the author calls Genergy. So what is it? Well, try to imagine a singular, conscious intelligence that exists completely outside of our normal sense of time. The idea is that this is the source of, well, everything. It's a fundamental energy that our science just hasn't figured out how to detect or measure yet.
According to this model, it was Genergy itself that kicked off the Big Bang. And this wasn't just some chaotic explosion, it was a creative event that started our linear timeline, creating what we call space-time. But here's the really wild part. Its intelligence was supposedly embedded into every single particle. And that intelligence, that's what we now observe as the laws of physics and chemistry.
And this cosmic intelligence isn't just something happening out in distant galaxies. The author suggests it's right here, inside of us, on a biological level. It's what guides the incredible, complex dance within every living thing, right down to the individual cells in your own body.
Okay, so let's bring it from the cosmic level down to the personal, and see how this all connects to the human mind. The author breaks the mind down into 3 distinct layers, and these are ones that science can actually observe and study.
These 3 layers, all housed in the brain, basically work like a biological computer. You've got memory, which is like your hard drive, storing all the data. Then you have the intellect, which is the processor, running all the logic. And finally, there's the ego, which is kind of like the operating system that uses all that processed data to define who you are, your personality, and your behavior.
But is that the whole story? I mean, what if there's more to us than that? This is where the author speculates about 2 more layers, ones that exist beyond what our current science can measure. First up is what's called life energy. You might know it by other names, like prana or chi. In this model, it's that animating spark that's drawn in with a baby's first breath, making it truly alive. It keeps us going our whole lives and is released with our last breath. It's a vital force, for sure, but it's still contained within our universe of space-time.
The second, and much more abstract layer, is the chitta. You could also call it the soul or the spirit. Now, in this framework, this is our direct personal connection back to that universal intelligence, Genergy. It's seen as the master controller, the real guide for both our body and our mind. And this table here really brings it all together beautifully. You can see the 4 proposed layers of our identity all laid out. And what's really interesting is the source column. The body and the mind are grounded in science. But life energy and the chitta, they're drawn from scripture and speculation. It's a really fascinating blend of the 2 worlds.
Okay, so this is a pretty cool idea. If the chitta really does connect us to some kind of universal intelligence, the next logical question is, how do we actually tap into that? How do we access it?
The author explains this connection using the concept of the Akashic record. You can think of it as a universal library or a cosmic internet containing all the knowledge that has ever existed. This is an idea from Vedic scriptures, and the author also notes how similar it is to what's called Al-Kitab in Arabic.
So how do we read the books in this cosmic library? Well, this model proposes 2 ways. The first is indirect access. That's what we're all doing all the time, learning by observing, reading, talking to people. The second path, though, is direct access, getting guidance and insights straight from the source, through our own chitta.
And this direct access isn't just one thing. The framework actually outlines 4 main paths, kind of like a spectrum. It starts with everyday intuition, that gut feeling we all get sometimes. But then it moves to much more profound states, like the innate wisdom of figures like Yeshua or Krishna, or the deep connection that people like the Buddha are said to have achieved through meditation. So, if we all have this amazing inner guidance system, this connection to universal wisdom, why do things go so wrong so often? I mean, why is there so much chaos and conflict in the world?
Well, in this framework, the natural world is seen as being in a state of harmony. And why is that? Because all other creatures are basically governed by the guidance flowing directly from their chitta, their connection to that universal intelligence.
And this right here is the heart of the human dilemma.
Our highly developed ego gives us a unique and powerful ability, the choice to ignore our inner guidance. We can override it. According to the author, this constant battle between our ego and our inner wisdom is the real source of all the chaos.
Now, it's really crucial to get this point. The author isn't presenting this as some rigid absolute truth. Instead, they call it a personal reading of this universal knowledge. It's a lifelong journey of understanding, and they're sharing it in the hope of opening a conversation and learning even more from others.
And ultimately, that's what this is all about. It's an invitation. The author has shared their map of reality, one they've pieced together from science, scripture, and their own personal search for answers. And it leaves us with one final, big question to think about. What does your map of reality look like?